people who are fleeing murder capitals of the world. There are children who are fleeing murder capitals of the world, who have fled, most of them, murder capitals of the world. We have families that are fleeing murder capitals of the world. A mother who pays a coyote. Imagine a mother who makes a decision to pay a coyote.
A coyote?
When a mother
what?
pays a coyote.
Often
what in the hell?
Caravan, with a coyote even.
Pause it. Okay. Are you kidding me? You don't know the word coyote? A coyote?
That sounds like something George Bush would say.
It does. Coyotes. These coyotes. He used to say coyotes.
Oh, that's right.
That's what he
I
said.
knew there was something there.
The coyotes. And now she's.
And it wasn't just one misread of the teleprompter.
No.
She thinks that's the
over
word.
and over and over.
Oh,
all right, let's see the rest of this.
Transport her child through their country of origin, through the entire country of Mexico, of traveling through the entire country of Mexico.
Yeah.
To transport her child across
through the entire country of Mexico.
Through the entire country of Mexico.
Entire country of Mexico.
It was safer for them to take that trek through Mexico.
Facing
not
unknown
the entire
peril.
country, though?
Facing unknown peril.
Oh,
facing
boy. Unknown peril.
In what they know could be a perilous journey.
Ooh,
we
she
have
mixed it
always
up.
presented ourselves as being a nation of strength with strong arms. The strong arms of America.
Right.
Part of the strength of our nation is supposed to be that we have strong arms.
That when people are fleeing harm, we will embrace them.
Which will embrace and protect anyone fleeing or facing harm.
Should be here to receive anyone who is fleeing harm.
So they should all come.
Right.
Right.
That's what she's saying.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border.
Come across the entire...
Do not come.
What? Oh, wait, what?
Curveball.
Do not come.
Do not come.
Didn't see that one coming.
Oh. But what if they do come? Will that be okay?
But what does Donald Trump do?
I don't know.
But what does this president do?
What?
He virtually looks at those children and says, go back to where you came from.
That bastard.
Not to flick them away and say, go back to where you came from. And that's the kind of policy we've had from this administration.
Yeah.
He says, go back to where you came from. That is not reflective of our America and our values, and it's got to end.
No, he's mean. He's mean.
And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
Oh, wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
If you come to our border, you will be turned back.
You'll be turned back.
But strong arms.
What about the
Strong arms.
strong arms?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grumpy Snail podcast with your host, me, uncancelable Jonathan Snyder. And before we get started today, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, do all those things you do with the videos. Just make sure, mostly just make sure that you watch. The counter on the videos, it doesn't work. There's like shadow banning and all that other stuff. People are watching the video. I know people are watching the video. Even if the counter says 0, I know people are watching the video. So just share it, like it, subscribe to get the more videos that I put out, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Today, you'll notice that I didn't do the normal camera intro because I'm not going to do all of the cutty stuff and the video stuff. And before we go anywhere, I'm drinking light today. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the camera thing. For the videos that I do on the weekends, like I spend all week listening. I normally just listen to podcasts and news and stuff normally anyway, but I take notes on stuff that I might want to talk about, where I can get video clips and all that other stuff. So throughout the week, I'm doing research. I'm not researching it. I'm just taking notes, and then I get the stuff and I put it together, and then I put it out on the video. And I I start that. I do that every week. I start on Monday and I just do it. I just do it throughout the week. And I did that this week as well. I got stuff on the fake riot that took place last weekend, and the border stuff, and I mean, just a myriad of things that I got. But this weekend I watched Tim Pool's podcast on Friday that had Ed, what was his name? Ed Calderon. Calderon. I feel like sometimes I have Glenn Beck's disease where he can't pronounce words when he's on camera. He can only do it before. But anyway, I watched this video, and like most of the comments on there, it's just it was just kind of depressing. It's real kind of black pill type thing. So I just kind of threw everything out except for the intro, of course. But I've been kind of thinking about the videos that I do, the podcast, the little stuff, the Potomac Highlander stuff, and the fixing stuff, and vlogs and all that. And I'm just trying to, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out where I want to go with everything. And I don't feel like the path that I'm on that I like or like this podcast. I don't know if I want to keep doing it. I mean, I want to keep doing videos because I do videos. I just have been posting stuff on YouTube like on and off since college. So what was that, 2008ish? I graduated in 2009, so 2008, something like that. I haven't been doing them like every week like I have been for this past year. I've been doing them every week ever since January, which is kind of, I've made it this far and it's almost October. So I don't want to stop posting stuff. It's just that, this political nonsense, I'm going to, keep doing I'm going to keep reading the news and watching my podcast or listening to my podcast and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's just something about something about everything that's been going on this year. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the right way to go anymore. I think if I were to continue, I'd probably end up going down a path that a lot of YouTuber type people do, where they just kind of, it's vlogging, but it's like highly produced vlogging where the camera angles are there and all that stuff. So I'll probably end up going in that direction. Keeping everything that I have been doing, but doing it differently. So, that's probably going to happen. I'm probably going to start doing that now, and I'll probably do one more podcast for next weekend, and then after that, things might be different. That's the first weekend in October, right? October the 3rd, I think. So, we had the fake riot thing where there's this riot that's taking place in DC for the I don't even know how to phrase it. The remembrance of the January 6th people, the people that took place on January 6th. I mean, the news wants to call them insurrectionists, but I mean, have you guys seen the videos? You see the videos of people just kind of just there, and now they're like in solitary confinement and have been for like 6 to 8 months with charges like trespassing, because that's the only charge that you can stick to most of these people. And so you have people that are serving prison sentences that are less than the heaviest. I mean, like these people, some of them can't even get felony charges. It's I don't know. I mean, I know that the visual is that the January 6th was worse than 9/11, but I really don't see it, because I mean, hours after people broke into the Capitol building, all the electors were certified and Joe Biden was president. I can't see it as this great big terrible thing that the media is pushing. I mean, I can't see a lot of the terrible things that the media is pushing. I mean, I don't understand why you people don't see what's going on. This past week, the Nazarene Fund, which is this organization, Glenn Beck is a big head of it, but they've been they raised a bunch of money, and the whole point of the fund is to help get Christians out of dangerous places like Afghanistan and other countries where Christians are persecuted in those areas or whatever. And so, they had this group of people that they were watching in Afghanistan before everything fell apart. In Afghanistan, I've talked about this before. So, they raised all this money to get these Christians out after Afghanistan completely had fallen to the Taliban. And since the government and the State Department did such a terrible job and just left so many people behind, the Nazarene Fund, along with other charitable type organizations, kind of adjusted their target groups and basically just started trying to get everybody that they could possibly get out of Afghanistan. And so this past week, with the help of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, the Nazarene Fund, and maybe some other groups helping, I'm not sure, helped get the junior girls FIFA team out of Afghanistan through Pakistan, and they are now in Peru. Is that right? So they went to somewhere in South America. I can't remember off the top of my head which country it was, but they had to go through Pakistan with the help of Pakistan, because the State Department and the U.S. government has been preventing these charitable organizations from getting people out of Afghanistan. The question is why they're doing it. My best guess is that, I mean, these people are making the State Department look terrible, because they just left. They left American citizens there, along with green card holders, along with, the translators and all these people that had worked with the military. They just left all these people over there, so those organizations have been working to get them out, and of course it just makes the State Department look incompetent, and I mean, I think it makes it look even worse that they're kind of obstructing this stuff. So I mean, that whole thing is going on, and the other stuff that's happened, Politico came out with their write-up on the Hunter Biden scandal. It's pretty clear cut and dry. What we knew was true. The Hunter Biden laptop was not only real, the emails that were supposedly in it are real. They're authentic. They do point to Joe Biden and just the Biden family being kind of corrupt with the money situation, where they're doing a lot of quid pro quo stuff going on while he was vice president. So that's going on. It's on it's Politico. It's in the news, and I know mainstream's not covering this stuff. I know that they're really glossing over a lot of things, so that the majority of people don't know. Which I don't even understand that, because a lot of people don't even watch mainstream anymore. A lot of people get their news from the articles and Substacks and just alternative news online, whether it has misinformation in it or not. So I don't know what the mainstream's purpose is. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words. There's this international situation with between France and the UK and America and Australia. And if you're following it, you know about it. What I'm going to say. Apparently, there was some sort of governmental contract between Australia and France, where France was building battleships or something, some sort of military something. They had a military contract with Australia to build this stuff, and the U.S. and U.K. Kind of went around the whole NATO thing, went around France, and because France has kind of been in and out of the NATO group here on and off. They're probably leaving again, but they kind of went around them, and so instead of France getting this military contract with Australia, U.S. and UK in conglomerations getting military contract. The military technology here in the U.S. is just the best. So, why not? Anyway, and the whole thing is that, they, it's funny because we talk about China a lot, how they're the enemy and all that nonsense, war hawk stuff. And it really doesn't hold water. It doesn't. They act like that you need to. The whole thing was so that Australia has these warships so that they can show force in the East China Sea, South China Sea. There we go. It just in that area, but you don't really need to show force against China. Their economy is collapsing. If this Evergrande thing is falling apart, they have this. They kind of have a cultural revolution going on. If you follow it, they're putting out all these things. They're limiting children's exposure to video games. They can only have video games, so many hours a week. They're pushing against femininity in the male population. So they want real masculine, strong men. What they have is unsustainable, and I know things look bad here in the U.S. with the culture and the economy and all that stuff, but China is like 10, 50, 100 times worse. So so all this China war hawk going to war kind of stuff. China, it's not. I mean, yeah, China is trying to, the Belt and Road thing, that because they've got to do what they're doing, but it's not sustainable. And yeah, they may invade Taiwan, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about that. But they're not going to invade us because they just don't have the capability to do so. So I don't worry about China. I don't worry about Russia. The whole Russia thing is, I mean, there's articles about that this week too. The Russiagate thing's a hoax. All that Russia stuff is nonsense. And so there's one group that I worry about, and they're in charge. They're in the White House. They're in the State Department. Those are the people that I'm worried about severely. I mean, utterly terrified. This situation with the Haitian immigrants or migrants, whatever you want to call them, it's interesting because I mentioned it last week at the very end about where did all these migrants come from all of a sudden, and how come they came in the way they did through the border as opposed to through Florida or something, because Haiti is an island, like way out there. It's not like Cuba. It's not like right there. It's kind of further out. And it turns out that, and this is in the news, so this isn't conspiracy theory stuff. It's there. Go look at it. So these Haitians are originally from Haiti, but they're not from Haiti. They've been in South America. A lot of them from Chile. So they're Chileans. They're Haitian Chileans. So that's it. And they didn't come up in like a 15,000 member caravan. They've been floating up through the border there into Del Rio for a while, and people were talking about it. It was in the news, but it wasn't in the mainstream. And it's interesting that the real big mainstream is the pictures that came out with the guys and the horses and all the accusations, which were never true. They were never true. And you can. It's funny to watch the mainstream come out and say they are whipping people, and then say, well, okay, well at first they came out and said that they were whipping people with whips, and then they said, okay, they weren't rips, they're split reins. And it was like, well, okay, they weren't whipping them, but they were twirling them around. And it's like, well, they're using their horses. So it's funny to watch the mainstream backtrack this narrative and still try to push this whole racial thing. And Maxine Waters is coming out spewing this nonsense because she's obviously a complete idiot. And then the photographer of the picture that's supposedly where these Border Patrol agents were whipping these Haitians said they weren't doing it. I saw them not whipping anybody. What is this? I mean, do you guys, I just don't, they're all lies. Like, just, it's not like they're trying to push an agenda. They're just straight up lying. And now to see all these grifter people that are screaming racist like Al Sharpton and Maxine Waters, it's complete BS. I mean, it's interesting because so they were at high rate 15,000, and So the question is, what's going to happen? Because, I mean, so they're not doing, and by they, I mean the administration's not doing anything to stop this influx of migrants. 2 months in a row, over 200,000 immigrants coming across. I mean, they were projecting 2 million, but they're going to top. If this keeps up, they're gonna top it. They're gonna go way over 2 million. 2 million this year. It's the highest it's been in over 20 years. And so they round up some of these Haitians and stick them on a plane and take them back to Haiti, which they're not even from. They're from Chile. So they land in Haiti and they go, "What the hell is this?" I don't know much about Haiti. I would never want to go to Haiti. I have no reason to. I mean, apparently it's like the shithole of all shitholes. The place gets bombarded with hurricanes and earthquakes, and the whole entire government is corrupt. They keep on just sending money and more money and more money than I can even fathom into this place, and it's gone. There has been no improvement in it's like it's a democratic city. They just keep flushing money into this place, and everybody just keeps getting poorer. So, I mean, that in itself deters a large group of these migrants to flee back into Mexico, because it's not like we have a border, because they're just walking across it. They're walking up here, they're leaving, going back into Mexico, getting food, coming back. It's just like here. I can look over and see West Virginia over there, and there it is. I can just go right over there, and the international border is just like that. And there's doctors, that get to check some of these people that say they're coming in with COVID, they're coming in with flu, they're coming in with stuff they don't even know what the hell they are. They're just saying they have something, they're not sure, and they're just letting them go. There's I guess 17. So originally we thought it's 15,000 at a time there, but I mean it's upwards of 30,000, and it's estimated that 17,000 are got into the U.S. and they're here now. Fortunately, there was supposed to be a second caravan type Haitian immigrants coming up, but since they started flying planes of them to Haiti, then they stopped. And so I don't know what's going to happen. The border wasn't patrolled very well to start off with, and now they're taking away all the horses. So all this stretch of border that was not very easily traversed, which is why they had the horses to start with. You can't just take a Bronco and ride over like these mountainous areas. That's why they had the horses, and so now they don't have horses. So great, right? I mean, they were completely outnumbered to start with, and now you're gonna do this investigation because of this complete lie. Yeah. On top of all that, I mean, so this article. So when Biden got in, of course, Trump's people were out. Biden's bringing his own people in, and this happened back in June. The Border Patrol chief, who was under Trump, was pushed out. by Biden, and this Washington Post article reads: the Biden administration is forced to out the head of U.S. Border Patrol, Rodney Scott, clearing a path for a leadership overhaul at the agency stained by a 20-year high in illegal border crossings, whose top officials were broadly sympathetic to President Donald Trump. I'm not here to push Donald Trump or his policies. I don't. From what I understand, the wall was like tower defense. It slowed, it deterred, but it didn't stop. So Scott, a 29-year veteran, published a statement on his social media Wednesday saying he had received a letter offering the option to resign, retire, or relocate. So he was pushed out, given no choice. He writes his big letter talking about how terrible things are. Let me see if I can get to it here. Quote, as chief, I was the most senior official responsible. That's not right. Responsible for border security between the ports of entry. I witnessed the unprecedented seismic shift in border security and immigration policy that was initiated on January 20th, 2021, which is when Biden was inaugurated. I believe this policy shift and the associated public statements created the current border crisis. Of great concern, I also witnessed a lack of any meaningful effort to secure our borders. Contrary to current rhetoric, this is not simply another illegal immigration surge. This is a national security threat. He goes on to talk. Secretary Mayorkas is choosing to ignore the sound recommendations of career government leadership despite his own admissions that he agrees with them. Of grave concern is the fact that the Secretary and other political appointees within the DHS have provided factually incorrect information to congressional representatives and to the American public. He goes on and talks. It's very depressing. This is all very depressing. On top of the border crisis, we have this economic crisis. The Fed has talked about raising the interest rates somewhere around the beginning of next year, which historically has caused slow economies to crash. But with the looming inflation, it's the only deterrent that the Fed has to, kind of curb the inflation so it isn't so god awful. The supply chain is completely destroyed due to COVID and the policies of not just this within this country, but the world currently. And people have been talking about this all week. Currently, there's 90 supply ships off the coast of California waiting to dock on the coast with supplies to factories across the country, with myriad of things, and they can't dock because the supply chain is broken. There's shortages. Costco is already talking about they're limiting cleaning supplies, toilet paper, water, food. There's going to be shortages in food. If you want to have Christmas, better start now, because you're not going to be able to get it. If the mandates go through, if this wasn't just posturing, if OSHA actually writes something and business go with it, it's going to get even worse than it already was going to, because you'll have a 30% drop in employment. There's already protests going on in New York where BLM are protesting the vax mandates because they are racist. According to Ibram X. Kendi, these mandates affect black people disproportionately than they do white people because majority of the black population is not vaxxed. So I think I covered most of everything. With that, I'm going to wish you all. I hope you have a good week. Fall's here. You can definitely feel it in the air. It's the heat of summer's gone, which is it's always a time of the year that I look forward to because summer is just the heat is just hard on me. I prefer the colder temps. So fall's here, and with that we got changing of the leaves and Halloween and Thanksgiving, and it's just a winding down of everything. So I hope y'all have a good week. Cheers, and I'll see you next weekend. Godspeed.